You are about to listen to a Jason Burgos exclusive interview. Taxes are a hell of a thing.
Yes. I know. Hopefully this year we can make it better, fix it.
Now, I mean, of course, the first question, there's so many questions I have to ask for you. Lewis Taylor, PFL champion, middleweight champion, new millionaire before taxes. But first, did you deposit the checks? You didn't deposit the checks the last time I asked.
I still haven't deposited checks.
Oh, my goodness. What do you like looking at the check? Is that what it is?
No. You know, once you deposit, it's like breaking 100. Once you break it, you know you're gonna spend it. So you better not break it.
Is there growing up, you grew up in the streets of Chicago. Is there like a paranoia about once the money's in there? Because I grew up in the projects, still in the projects myself. If I had that much money in the bank, I'd just be normally paranoid about bad things happening. Do you have that paranoia once it gets in there?
Yeah. Just see, right now, anything happens to the check, you're not worried about it. You call out the company, You get it fixed. But once you put it, once it's cash, then you're free to mess it up.
So I mean, what is, because the one of the best parts of being at the championship was you winning, opening the show with the big bang, and the celebration of your daughters, your wife, Bilal Muhammad. Everybody is excited, and then you talking about the house is paid. Like, how much of it of like a stress reliever, a game changer, significance to your life is it to know that your house is paid off? The kids can go to really good schools. Like, what does that feel like?
It feels really, really, it's hard to be proud of yourself, but as a father and a husband, those are, some of the things that's expected of you to make sure you're not a failure. That and keeping your daughters off the strip pole. But so, at least the first half is done.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, going into the season, you have confidence in yourself. You've done well. You fought for the title in World Series of Fighting. You have had a good career. But did you feel that you can go all the way and win it? Or when you did it, you achieved this goal, did you even impress yourself on a level?
I'm going to say I impressed myself because I knew it was always my goal to, first of all, just making it into the finals was for me, that was my crown achievement. Winning it, I could take it or leave it. Of course, I wanted to take it, but you gotta be happy at some point. So making it into the finals was my first goal. Was my short term. Winning it was my long term. But making at least the 200,000, because previously I hadn't even made that much fighting. So I was happy with that. But so I didn't want to look past the 200 and just look at the million. I wanted to see what I could do with 200, and if I had more to play with, then I would accept it,
Would 200 have, achieved the goals you want in terms of the house and the school anyway, so this is just gravy extra stuff?
Yeah, 200 would have definitely put a big dent in our mortgage, and I was more than happy with that. The million, it helps me give me a little retirement cushion. It gives me, some investment options. So yeah, I'm happy to be in a situation I'm in and not have to necessarily fight, but I'm ready to fight. You feel me?
Yeah. I'm
ready for this 2019 because, like you said, taxes are high. I've never appreciated Trump like I appreciate him now.
So when you look at it and you see, like Ocasio-Cortez saying there should be 70% on the 1%, and now you're working your way to the 1%, you're not for that kind of stuff now.
Nah. Yeah. I'm talking, it sucks to really look at what the chunk that's coming out is, but now, like you said, now I'm looking at some of the laws that he has done and how they favorably can play into saving me, instead of paying 40% into taxes, paying 20%. That's a huge difference. That's roughly $200,000. So, that, what I mean? So, yeah. Now I'm like, maybe it's not so bad.
Now, what do you do with the belt? Like, the belt is not, it's more like, it's beautiful. I love that belt. It looks great. But it's more like a trophy. It's not something you're going to bring back to next season and defend in a title fight. Like, what do you do? Is it just in a trophy case somewhere? Do you put it on a wall? What have you done with the belt since?
Exactly that. You know, the belt's been on the parade. People see me, they be like, "Yeah, it's nice to see you. Go get the belt." You
Yeah.
know? So the belt is what people want to see now. And honestly, the belt is what I worked hard for. I wanted that WSOF belt really bad. Everybody counted me out against David Branch. I wanted to prove them wrong. Then, unfortunately, I spent that whole fight headhunting, trying to tear his head off, and I learned my lesson. You know, I calmed down in a Bruce fight. I took my time and picked my shot, and it worked out well.
Does it almost become like a Stanley Cup trophy, and everybody that was a part of the team that helped you get there, do they get to keep it for a week and just hold on to it?
Yeah, it's definitely that. It's definitely that. I'm making them sign waivers, and we're passing it along.
Now, talking about the Abus fight, I mean, obviously, it went perfect. It went, as good as it can get. Did you feel, I mean, when we talked about it before the fight, they even put it on the PFL, like, social media picture of, you told me you were going to hit him like he's never been hit before, but did you feel like, damn, like, it would work that well so quickly? And what was it, 30-something seconds? Like, it was less than a minute.
Yeah, it was 33 seconds, and a lot of people, you know how like when you talk, people always say, "Oh, that's just pre-fight hype, etc." I plan on doing exactly what I set out to do, and I did it. Some people can go back and read everything I wrote was exactly what I did. I plan on hitting him because I saw he does a really good job of avoiding big shots, and that's what I meant when I said I plan on hitting him like he's never been hit before. Because I watched this fight and I saw that nobody really catches him, and so my job was I wanted to really catch him. I wanted really to hit him and really show him what it feels like to be hit by somebody with my type of power.
Do your children like fully grasp that you achieve? I mean, it seemed like they do. Like, I remember watching the replay of the fight. Like, one daughter's cheering, one daughter's crying, amazing stuff. But do they like fully get what you achieved? And how important is it to you as a father to send that message that if you grind, you put the work in, you can achieve goals? And you're a perfect example of that to them now.
I don't know. It's hard to speak for them at this moment. They're only 9 and 10, but I've had them in that gym. I watched, Donald Cerrone this past weekend, and the same, where he's at right now, I've been there. I've been struggling and not paying for childcare, and training. That's been a part of my journey. Paying for childcare, that's like somewhere between $1,000 a month. So I just took my kids to the gym with me, from the playpen to the walker to the stroller to even now bouncing off the walls. So they've walked that step with me, every step of the way. They've been there, and so now I'm not sure if they really grasp where we're at and where we're heading. But they're definitely happy that I won, and at the end of the day, that's what's most important. That to come in and not be injured, not have to go to the hospital, et cetera. Because when you prepare yourself for a 25-minute fight, mentally, that's something that you have to be ready for. You have to be ready for the healing process, which can be long or short.
Now, you mentioned going to the UFC show, the ESPN1 show. Now, like, when you go to these events, and not to say that you weren't known before, you were definitely known before, but do you feel like just from fans, from even people in the UFC, the fighters, the people that work behind the scenes, are they noticing you, like, oh shit, that's, the guy who won the $1 million at PFL, that's Lewis Taylor?
No, it was, I went, and it was on a whole new level. I had no clue that so many people had even saw the fight or knew who I was. So it was definitely refreshing to have so many people who you looked up to. Just I would just be kind of walking past at times, and someone would like some big names would just reach out and be like, someone like Daniel Cormier or somebody, hey, yo, stop me, yo, congratulate. No, I really mean it. Congratulate. Literally from the bottom of their heart, taking the time to just acknowledge me. And, those are dope moments. And then you would have the slick people that you wouldn't even know who knew you, would just make a joke about it. He'd be like, wow, you know, I talked to Khabib for a second. He'd be like, yo, brother, let me borrow some money. You know, you know what I mean? Like, whoa,
Yeah.
Khabib just asked to borrow some money.
Yeah.
Jokingly, of course, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it feels good. It feels good, you know.
Do you? I mean, and obviously you can't say names here, but because of what you've done, because of winning the million, are there some of those fighters that like, you know, contract? Not even at the UFC event, but just since the win, like my contract's kind of coming up. You know, how do I get involved with PFL? Like, has it brought attention that more people like, yo, dude, tell me about how to get in there?
Yeah, it has. A couple fighters, who fought, they was like, man, I wish I had them, but, you know, I wish I, you know, could have fought there, you know, before I signed. You know, it definitely creates another option for even a lot of big name fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But like I had to remind them, it's not an easy journey. You know, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna walk through. I'm like, it is a very difficult year.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 fights in
Yeah.
6 months. 5 fights in 6 months. You have to remain injury free. You have to stay in camp the whole time. You can't go too high. You can't fly too low. It's a real battle to stay focused.
Now, I mean, one of the things we talked about way back in the first interview I did with you early in this year, I think maybe after your first or second fight, that, you know, going to Chicago and trying to do things back home and doing and making a difference. Now, you know, when we talked, you talked about you got to win the money because people are not going to make, you know, listen to you. You don't have the money. Well, now you have the money. So, I mean, are there starting to be movements? Do you have some ideas? Do you started to talk to certain people with influence, and are we heading towards some interesting things for you in the community we should look out for soon?
Very, very much so. The only problem I'm having right now, I'm having doors open for me, people reaching out, asking me. They, you know, unfortunately, they're ready to hit the ground running with the put the guns down, you know, Taylor movement, but I'm still a fighter. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm still a fighter first. So I just got my LLC. So Put the Guns Down now is an official business. And I'm taking my steps, but I got another couple years in me, and so it's gonna be a balancing act because I don't want to sidetrack myself too much from, you know, going to secure another bag in 2019. So, but at the same time, my goals are always going to be the same. But now, as I make this 2019 run in PFL, I think there'll be a lot more support, a lot more eyes, and I think Chicago will stand behind me as one of their own, especially when they see the difference between me and the people who they already support, say like an Adrian Broner. You know, they look at, like, a lot of people made the comparison for me and him. They like, yo, this is a clown and this is a guy with a class act, you know?
Right.
You know, and the thing is, you can't keep uplifting these clowns, you know? These clowns like Adrian Broner, you let these people represent us, and these are the heroes for the younger generation, and we don't need that. We have an uphill battle already. So you need these eyes not to look at these goofballs who say it's doing it for the hood, but in every negative way that it can possibly mean. When you say you're doing it for the hood, it means uplifting yourself, getting yourself out the hood, giving the hood something to be proud of, not another thug on a screen.
No, I mean, and it's crazy, like the situation you're in, and it's a good situation because in the end, you still have to. You got a couple years left, so you're already, you know, the end is near, and you have to prepare for the life. Do you almost feel like you kind of, as much as you don't want to take away from your fighting, there is this possible path for you because of your influence now to some level of activism that you kind of really need to do the balancing act of activist and fighter to set up your future in something like that, and the opportunities that can grow from it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And so I'm just trying to find the right people to help direct me down the right path so I can juggle both, and at the same time, just like, you know, Sean O'Connor, move out into something else, whatever that might be. Move out from MMA, but take the stage that I have and use it to better myself and to better my community and those who believe in the message that I'm trying to share.
Now, another question in terms of representation and activism and being a role model. I mean, you're a rarity in that there are a lot of fighters in the sport, especially from like say Dagestan, that part of the world, that are practicing Muslims. You're a practicing Muslim too. Tell me about how long you've been into practicing Muslim. That's been your religion, and also what does it mean to you to be American Muslim and a champion in the country today, and being a great example of something like that?
I actually haven't converted yet.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
something. Yeah, it's something that I'm working on and playing. In a sense, when I fully convert, and that's something my imam was with me. He's guiding me along this path of becoming a Muslim, and it's something he's like he wanted me to really announce it as I won the championship. But again, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do it, but I knew I wasn't ready to do it, and I wasn't ready to do it because I knew I wanted to go celebrate in a negative way, in a sense of drinking alcohol and etc. I'm just saying, So the thing is, I'm not a fake person, so I never want to start something that I'm not 100% committed to, giving my best effort. And so, like I said, I have to, if I still want to do this, I don't want to do that yet until I'm ready to give up all of that. And so that's where I'm at now, moving forward and still keeping some of the youngest, best aspiring, fighters who are also American Muslims in my corner, and they're just guiding me along the way as I make this transition. But again, there's fake Christians, fake Muslims, fake Jews, everybody. I'm not interested in just doing something for the sake of doing. I want to do it and give it my all.
Right. Now, big story this week, and we talked about it a little bit, is Carlos Silva leaving the PFL. Talk to me about your relationship with Carlos Silva, because we talked about in the previous interview, he was a guy that, you mentioned last time we talked that he, they were non-believers, so to speak, within the PFL, what you were doing up until that point. He was one of the people who said, man, you're doing amazing. You've really proven us wrong. Really happy for you. Like, what does it mean what did he mean to you as a league president? What does it mean to the league to lose someone that, really influential, important to the league?
I think because you have, I would say if Ray Seffo was the rock, like that mountain. I don't really know how to give a best comparison of that, but Carlos was like that softer side. If you got the hard, then you got that softer side. So it was a great balancing act to have those two lead us and stand in front of us at the podiums at times. You have to, again, Ray, who comes from a kickboxing background and accolades, great accolades of his own, but Carlos, who didn't, but to me, had a great understanding of certain fighters, even better than Ray at times. Like, I would listen to some of their interviews, and I was always impressed with the outlook that Carlos, what he said, because even though he wasn't a fighter, he knew what he was talking about. Even when you looked at, because, sometimes people like Ray, they become biased to their craft. So when Ray looks at a fighter like me, he doesn't see a kickboxer. So I'm not one of his favorites because I don't come from a traditional Muay Thai or kickboxing background, and if it was Randy Couture, he would want to see a traditional wrestler. You feel me? Boss. Everybody has their own little niche of that type of fighter who they prefer. And I don't really fit into anybody's mold, but I bring the heat. Right. And that's something that Carlos acknowledged a long time ago that I appreciated. Like, dude, I don't know what you guys are looking for, but this dude is bringing bringing the heat.
Now, has he been? I mean, I'm sure, when I talked to Carlos Silva before the championship, they would talk about, like, they take a week off and they start preparing for season 2. I mean, of course, you're already involved in season 2. Have you heard any rumblings of news in terms of when a season 2 could start, or any of those things, something like that, like when fans and stuff should prepare to see you try to defend that title?
I mean, I've heard May. They sent us our contract, saying that we're, proud to have me come back for the 2019 season. but I have heard rumblings of them actually canceling my weight class, which is the middleweight class. So that leaves me kind of up in the air about what's going to happen and when I should be prepared. I don't know if they're going to release all the middleweights. I don't know what's going to happen. I know they're preparing to add the women's division, 155, but I've heard that they might be letting go to middleweight. So that's my weight class. So it's definitely turbulence on that flight, but we'll see how that plays out. Nothing for sure has been announced, and so I just got to wait and see.
Now, the rumblings you heard, it was before they sent you the new contract, right? So does the new contract give you confidence, like, okay, they're giving me a contract, they're not waiting on it, so it makes you feel, okay, maybe it's just rumors and it's maybe solidifying that you should be back?
Yeah. It's one of those weird things, like, oh, I'm happy to have the new contract, but I'm like, what's going to happen? You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I'm a natural 85-pounder. Yes, I can go up to 205. Yes, I could potentially make 170, but at my age,
right,
are those things that I really want to do, So it puts me in a bind, but at least the ride so far has been an enjoyable one. So we'll see how that comes when they make their announcements and finalize whatever they're going to do for the 2019 season, which should begin in May.
The last time we talked, you talked about, that underappreciation, you were hoping to get some more bread, so to speak. When you get that new contract, is there any leeway at all in terms of, can your management renegotiate, or this is the deal you have to take? I mean, is it like a type of thing where football, like say a sports league, there's a player opt-in, a team opt-in, like is it automatically, if they pick up your option, you're automatically into the next season for that set rate already, or is there some leeway?
Yeah, it was like all automatically into the next season, but I'm expecting to for PFL to reach out and renegotiate and kind of pay me what I'm worth.
Right.
I don't feel like my previous manager valued me in the right manner in that sense. So I feel like we can work that out, but that's between the future. I don't want to talk too much about that publicly.
Well, I mean, you're a champion now. You're notable. You're one of the top middleweights in the world. Are there any middleweights outside the PFL that you really wish you could face? I mean, even now we're in the world trades or possibilities, and if maybe if your middleweight division doesn't return, maybe you are a perfect guy to get traded to a major company for a big fight. Like, what about guys like a rematch with David Branch, Ongla and Song from one championship, Adesanya, Weidman, Usasi, Whitaker, Gaslam, all these big names? Are there any middleweights you would love to get in the cage with?
I mean, honestly, I would love to really face what's his name, Israel?
Yeah, Adesanya.
Adesanya is hard to pronounce. I mean, see, the thing is about me, I love taking fights that people give me no chance. Mm-hmm. And this kid is looking really good. He dispatched David Brunson impressively. And you want to fight those people who you respect, and in a sense, I'm not going to say fear, but who gets your blood boiling. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't want to take anybody who I know I should beat. That's not who I want to fight. Right. I want to fight those people who nobody believes that I can beat, and who kind of presents the most threat, because those are the people who make me train the hardest, and who I'm proud of when I knock out.
Now, final question it's always a pleasure talking to you. Now, what are your personal passions away from training, from MMA, from all that kind of stuff? Like, are you a sports fan, Bulls fan, which would make me very sick as a Knicks fan because I hate the Bulls? Like, what are the passions away from the MMA game? I'm a personal trainer as well. Mm-hmm. So I like to work with my clients. I like bettering other people. I like seeing other people achieve their goals, especially when it comes to the weight loss situations. So I just like helping. I like being in the gym. I'm happy there. But if I'm not in the gym and I'm not with my kids and family, you can catch me playing some Black Ops, Call of Duty, to put the guns down. Yeah. Just so when now that your business card for trainer is going to say PFL champion millionaire possibly if you want, does the personal training rates have to go up?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Now that you're a champion and a millionaire, do you have to raise the personal training rates a little bit to, because you're a big
You
deal
are,
now?
you are. I mean, you are exactly right. I honestly was charging a little bit to nothing. Everybody used to get mad at me for my rates, but I'm still gonna keep them low, especially for those people who's been rocking with me. I'm not gonna change anything.
Yeah.
If I was charging you $20 now, I'm still charging you $20.
Wow.
If I was charging you $30, we still at $30. But if I didn't know you and you just coming to say Lewis Taylor trained you, you got to run me that 50, 60.